Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have to talk about the weekend box office. And although we're not quite done with the weekend as of now, when we get back to Monday and I record a video that completes the entire weekend, I will tell you this much. Things will be very different. Right now, it doesn't look very good for The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's right, the Grok and Grey Goose is going to fail in its second weekend, the first ever Star Wars movie to fall off a cliff in the second weekend. But let's take a look at the things that are succeeding, and they're surprising because they're horror films done by YouTubers. In fact, let's take a look at Backrooms. With a $75 to $79 million opening weekend, that's fantastic. You've also got Obsession jumping past 100 million, and of course you have the bad news, which is that A24 is beating out Disney in many ways. Backrooms made 10.4 million in previews, shattering the A24 record. But according to WDW Pro over at thatparkplace.com, a great place to check out and to make sure you add to your Google approved searches, The Mandalorian projected as first Star Wars film to be knocked off the #1 spot in the second week. This is not surprising. It's something we've been talking about for a while, all the way back to the WDW Pro face reveal. That was not that many days ago. Regardless, let's take a look at the story itself. For almost 50 years, a new live action Star Wars movie has generally arrived in theaters with an aura of inevitability and invulnerability, I would add myself, saying that that day is no more. Even when the franchise became divisive, even when reviews were mixed, even when fan enthusiasm was fractured, the box office power of the brand was usually enough to keep Star Wars at the top of the domestic chart for more than one weekend. Well, maybe that day has passed us. In fact, I would suggest it has. Even Forbes is jumping on this bandwagon. Even Forbes is jumping on this bandwagon. As you can see, Mandalorian and Grogu are heading towards a 69% dive at the weekend box office. This is not good. A 70% drop off is something I was actually talking about as something that legitimately could happen, but I wasn't 100% expecting it. And if it does fall off that far, I would say that, well, Star Wars is doomed. And it's something we've been saying for a long time here. But according to the writer over at Forbes, the indie film sensations Backrooms and Obsession are poised to blast The Mandalorian and Grogu from the top of the domestic box office chart as Star Wars heads into the second weekend of release. And, well, it falls to a film that is, well, longer in the theaters than it, and a film that just came out, both of which are tied to YouTube sensations. Directed by Kane Parsons, Backrooms has earned 10.4 million on Thursday night previews, and the numbers continue to jump. They think it's headed towards a 33 to 35 million dollar opening day, and that's phenomenal. A 76 to 79 million opening frame is going to be one of those that just is almost incomprehensible to most that have been following box office for so long. Of course, when you take a look at the numbers, the Thursday numbers charts just show the previews, and it doesn't look good for a Thursday, May 28, when Backrooms is at 10.4 million, which eventually would finish closer to 12, Obsession at 4.63 million, and the Mandalorian and Grey Goose coming in at 3.5 million on a Thursday. This does not bode well for that film. Overall, I think there are big problems ahead for Disney Star Wars, and I don't think we can pretend anymore. Now, we've talked at length over the course of the last few weeks that Star Wars was in big trouble, that they had taken the idea of the large screen property that was the Star Wars mystique and mystery, and they have boiled it down into episodic television, which has done Star Wars no favors. In fact, it did Marvel no favors, and both of those particular IPs have suffered greatly. All, of course, the brainchild of Bob Iger, who thankfully Disney is now rid of, but the hangover remains, and that's kind of the phase we're in right now. And if you enjoyed this video and its no-nonsense approach and even the lack of editing, let me know in the comments section down below. Also, be sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and if not, click the subscribe button, hit the notification icon, and turn on all notifications. That's the little bell down there. If you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up before you exit and leaving me a comment down below, I would appreciate it, as well as I am on the road and unable to give you the highly edited stuff that I normally do. I don't mind doing this format. The question is, do you mind watching it? Let me know that in the comments section down below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just probably not watching Mandalorian and Grogu.